what is polygyny and how does it benefit a society?
Well, polygyny in and of itself is when a man or a woman has multiple mates. Polygyny is when a man has multiple wives, and polyandry, which is the lesser practice form, is when a woman has more than one husband. Now, the reason polygyny has been practiced throughout human history and has pretty much been the status type of a marriage up until probably around the 15th century, okay, is because men have always participated in fratricide, the killing of other men, war, jealousy, whatever the situation is. The life of a man has always been something that was subject to be terminated for a variety of reasons, and the most notable one was war. And because generally there tends to be more women born in the world than there are men, and even in societies where there's more men born into the society than the women, because of fratricide, you always ended up with not enough adult men, okay, to be able to equally elope with enough adult women. So as a result of that, historically, and you find this in every society, black, white, purple, it doesn't matter, polygyny has always been the order of the day. It's only until recent romanticized European conceptions of marriage, which they don't practice, okay, because, by the way, more than half of all white men cheat, too. Okay, they don't practice it, they just talk it, okay? And with the rise of religion, which also teaches many of them that you can only have one wife, particularly Christianity, okay, you've seen the situation where men and women, you know, have been forced to be in these non-polygamous arrangements, which is fine if it works for you. I don't believe that men should be forced to take on more than one wife. I don't believe that. I don't necessarily believe that a woman should be forced to accept polygyny, you know, if she don't think it's what's best for her. Okay, but for individuals who are interested in that type of lifestyle, they should be given the opportunity to definitely do that. And to be honest with you, ultimately, before polygyny can be practiced successfully, the stigma has to be removed. In other words, you take the African-American community, if a woman is part of a polygynous situation, she's looked down upon by other women as being weak, not being a strong black woman, as betraying the strong legacy of black sisterhood. So the stigma has to be eroded, because sisters who are in fulfilling polygynous situations, you know, suffer a social loss because they are so repudiated, you know, by other black women. So for it to work, you know, the stigma has to be changed. But the truth of the matter is this. The bottom line truth is that we already have de facto, undercover, illegitimate polygamy in the black community. We already have that. Okay, most men have two women, okay? One of them is the one everybody knows, and the other one is the one nobody knows, okay? That's the rule anyway, okay? And it has nothing to do with morals. One of our biggest problems is when we try to paint a moral brush over a sociological problem. There's not enough men to go around. And whenever there's not enough men to go around, the women share the men. There's a myth that the men are the ones who are lying and tricking and keeping 2 and 3 women on the side without none of them knowing it. Of course, this does happen. We know that. But I can tell you for a fact, a lot of the times, the women are aware that he's married, but they choose to share. Why? Because if black women don't care enough about me as their sister to see to it that I have a husband, then I shouldn't care enough about them to have a husband either. So, again, it goes back to sisterhood. There's a lack of men, and black women are not doing anything about it. They're simply saying it's every woman for herself. If you get one, great. If you don't, oh, well, I guess you better find another way or go outside of the race. But sisters ain't going to do that. They're going to share your man. So ultimately, polygyny has to be discussed by black women, not just by black men. It has to be regulated by the elders and the women. It can't be regulated by the men. Why? Because they benefit from it. And because of that, there has the potential for abuse and misuse. For example, when you look at different communities that are polygamous, you see abuse all the time, okay? I was raised Muslim in the Islamic community. Women get abused in polygamous arrangements. Why? Because it's not being regulated. Right. The man is regulating his own arrangement. That's a conflict of interest. How can you regulate something that's going to benefit you and at the same time make sure you keep yourself in check so the women gets benefited? It doesn't work that way. That's why when you study historical societies, the elders, there was an institution, okay, that regulated, okay, polygyny. Not you. You can't regulate it because it's a conflict of interest. It has to be made public. If Brother Umar got 2 wives, wife A and wife B, everybody knows he's married to wife A and wife B. It must be public. That's how you keep it checked. But as long as I can have 3 wives and nobody know I'm married to them except them, I can marry, divorce, marry, divorce, marry, divorce, and make a whole bunch of children that I'm not taking care of because I don't have to answer to nobody but myself.